everybody, welcome to LARPCorp. We are a channel dedicated to art and science, and we're going to kick off the show by going around campus and asking some people some questions about art and science.
Yeah, we will.
But before that, we thought a good way to introduce ourselves and introduce the channel is just to have each other take the survey. So, my co-host, Javin, what is your name and major?
My name is Javin. That is me. And my major is in integrated science education with a concentration in chemistry. Now, what about you? What's your name and major for the people at home?
I am Miles, and I am currently a mechanical engineering major, but not for long.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at a later date. So, Javin, how would you define art?
That is a good question. Okay, how I would define art would be an outlet for people to express creativity through any medium that they choose.
I think that art is just any form of expression.
Any form of
Any
expression.
form of expression is art.
Good answer.
Now, the next question we have is, what stereotypes are associated with artists? And, what do you got to say about that, Javin?
Artists. Well, if you watch movies.
If you watch movies.
If you watch movies or television, the artist is always portrayed as kind of this hipster. Hipster is the word that first comes to mind when
The word that comes to my mind is like quirky.
Quirky, yeah. That hipster, quirky, kind of like half-shaved head, blue hair, and like it sits in their basement and paints all day.
Yeah.
That's that's like the stereotype that like comes to my mind.
Yeah, just like a crazy person.
But not crazy.
But not crazy.
In real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the stereotype that I always get when you think about the stereotypes that society has for artists. That's kind of like the image that's always portrayed.
Mm-hmm. And next question is, what is your favorite art form, Javin?
My favorite art form is music. I am a musician. I play lots of instruments. I have music tattoos. I just love music because it's a way for me to express kind of like my emotion at the time and like really make things myself, because when I do music, I make it so that it is me, and when you hear me perform music or me do music, you're hearing the thoughts that I have, the emotions that I'm feeling, anything that I'm trying to convey through my music. It's easy for me to do that.
My favorite art form is the language arts. I like to have a word for the exact feeling that I'm feeling. I like having a big vocabulary to write down just exactly what I'm feeling. I like the exactness, the preciseness of the language arts.
Which is probably why you were an engineer, right? Because like with engineering, it's very precise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Very just kind of like straightforward. But when you think about art, like when we talk about the stereotypes, the artist you think about usually isn't super precise.
And they're very like all over the place, very outgoing, which I was never very outgoing.
Yeah, so like it's really cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. Next question is, how would you define science?
Science. I would define science as very kind of like logic-based, very, there's a problem, here's a solution, very rhyme and reason, like, if this happens, this is the cause of it.
I think science is just the pursuit of knowledge, just
Mm-hmm.
wanting to learn more about our known universe, and applying those trends to problem solving through engineering.
Oh, yes.
And next question is, what stereotypes are associated with scientists?
I would say the stereotype you always see when you watch movies or television or look on the internet is always very, like, kind of nerdy, kind of very introverted,
Very introverted,
like,
very awkward, no friends,
Yeah, like-
big-ass glasses, oh, sorry, swear jar.
Swear jar, but it's fine. That's probably what I would say. Very just kind of secluded, very reason-based, not very out there. That's what I would say.
Alright, next, yeah, pretty much. Okay, next question. What is your favorite field of science and why?
Chemistry. Chemistry, 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 chemistry. Because I love chemistry because I love to look at the world at its like core, and like the building blocks of the universe is atoms, and I love learning about like how atoms interact with other atoms to form new things, and how you can apply chemistry to any situation and understand like how it works.
My favorite field of science is physics, because it's literally just the rules of how to live. Like, gravity works this way because we know it does. It's just very precise. It's very exact.
Kind of like the same reason why you like language arts.
Exactly.
Exact. Precise.
And final question, what do you, Javin, think the difference is between art and science?
Me personally don't see a difference, because with art and science, it's very... Art is there to bring awareness to a issue, problem, or feeling, right? Okay. Art is there to convey a message, and science is there to also convey a message. The messages don't have to be related, but they both convey a message that the person who is doing it is trying to convey. When you do science, you write a hypothesis, right? And when
scientific method.
Yeah, scientific method, hypothesis. When you create a piece of art, you have a hypothesis of what you want to convey. You have like, I want this painting to make this person feel sad. So this is the methods I'm going to do that in. And in science, I want to prove that I believe that this happens. Now I'm going to take the steps to do it. So they're both conveying a message and trying to bring a point to something.
I don't believe there is a difference between art and science. I think that art and science are a lot more closely related than a lot of people realize. And just as the example, I love physics for the same reason I love language arts. And those are completely different fields. But just me as a person, the way I view the world, I like both of those things for the same reason.
Oh yeah, so now that they have heard from us, they have heard our 2 cents, they have heard our opinions, now we're going to go and talk to the people of the University of Toledo and see what they have to say on this subject. So yeah, let's take a look at that now.
That's a good question. I would probably define art as a creative entity among an individual or a group of individuals. I think creativity is one of the biggest things in terms of art. That's where you find your best ideas.
Okay. Something someone makes that is meaningful in some way to that person.
I would define art as anything creative that helps one express themselves.
Think about that one. Stereotypes. They're often very unique. They're often very liberal. I'd say a stereotype for many artists is they're often very poor. I shouldn't say very poor, but I mean they don't really like a lot of money unless they're successful. They really would like to wear bright colors or special colors. They probably wouldn't walk around with something like this.
Alright. I'm dating one, so common stereotypes associated with artists is that they're lazy, they're also a little bit odd, they don't have the same interests as a lot of other people. Yeah, I guess that kind of sums it up.
I guess that they like to wear crazy hair or crazy clothing, things like that.
Okay.
My favorite form of art would be music. I just enjoy listening to music. I like finding new types of music. I know for sure I can't dance, so I can at least listen to it. It makes me happy. So.
What's the whatever that painting where the guy's screaming like that?
Wait.
Is that Van Gogh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That one and the time one, the dead horses. I think that one's a good one.
Okay.
I'd say music.
Music's your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think science is. I think a lot of it's based off of like a lot of data analysis, research. I think for science you have to think very critically, I guess, because you have to prove why you're researching something. You always have a hypothesis, trying to figure out. So if I do like an experiment.
Science is kind of an explanation of the way things work. Science is trying to create something new every day. And when it does work, you figure out why that works. And if it doesn't work, you find out why it didn't work. And you try to change something so that it worked.
I would define science as the search for truth, search for what we can prove in nature. Yeah.
Science is like, it's the study kind of how everything works in the world, things we see, things we don't see, and how everything works.
I would define science as anything pertaining to nature or just in general how anything evolved.
Chemistry.
Field of science. Well, I'm a biology major, so I like biology, I guess. Yeah, you know, it's like plants and stuff.
I'd say environmental science.
My favorite field of science would have to be, I guess it would have to be medicine, because it's a part of my major.
Chemistry is my favorite field of science.
That most scientists are crazy for having certain theories, stuff like that.
Right.
I would say glasses. Very intelligent people, white lab coats. Yeah, probably just that stuff usually.
That they're male and ugly and nerds.
As scientists,
Yeah.
we're nerds.
Nerds.
We really like to be smart. We really other stereotypes. Often very messy. I guess this common stereotype. How can I say this in kind of a positive way? Maybe not very athletic. Maybe not as social as like a fraternity boy or a party monster or something like that.
Alright.
I don't know, I think they're kind of integrated if you think about it. But like, because with science and art, you have to use reason for both of them, and you have to use thinking. So to me, they're basically the same, just different forms.
Cool. And then,
Well, I mean, I will say they're just two completely different subjects. I mean, granted, there would be some overlap in there. What separates them? I want to say art doesn't always have an explanation.
Okay.
But science does, or science should. I mean, there's some things we can't explain. For example, why does gravity work? Nobody really knows. But with art, I mean, anything can be art. Just create something unique, hang it somewhere, and that can be considered art.
I think in terms of science, you're dealing more with data, numbers, whereas art, you're not really dealing with numbers and data. I think in terms of science compared to art, like I said, art is more like where you're using your creativeness, your imagination, in terms of, you're taking whatever knowledge you have in that field and then you're using your imagination, your creativeness to expand on what you're trying to create. And then I think for science,
They're free in just a second.
you usually don't need much creativeness. I think you just have to have a very practical understanding. I think it's more logical and practical.
Okay.
I think that they're fundamentally two different things. Art is seeking expression more about cultural or social things. Science looks more to what is naturally proven, I guess, or how nature works. So that would be how I would look at it, is that they're not necessarily comparable. They're two completely different things.
It's a good question. Art is more representative, I suppose, whereas like science is more like factual, I guess.
Okay, everyone, that is all we have time for today. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so leave a comment answering any of the questions that you saw in the video. We'd love to get your guys' input on all of the things art and science.
And if you want to see more from us, tune in January 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this Season 1 premiere of LARPCorp.
Oh yes.
See you then.
We will see you then.